Welcome back to this mathematics paper 1 Ecz 2017. So in this video we're just going to do part 1 of it, and then I've organized some questions from 1 up to 12. So and then there's this question which is just an extra question for this video. So I'm going to learn you step by step. Hopefully you understand, because in mathematics paper 1 it's just very simple. Yeah, but you are not allowed to use a calculator, so you must be very good with numbers and then in terms of simplifying. So question 1 is saying simplify 3x minus open bracket y minus 2x minus 3. So this is just a simple question, guys. So the first step, you have to write the question itself, which is 3x minus open bracket y minus 2x close bracket minus 3y, like that, and then you say equal to. Now this negative which is here, it is more like it is -1, but -1, since it's just a 1, so it's you can't even show it more like, yeah, because the brackets are near it. Now you just say negative times all of this which is in the brackets. So you say 3x 1 multiplied by y, -1 multiplied by 1, it will be just negative y, -1 multiplied by -2x to be positive 2x, and then this number just comes the way it is, which is -3y, and then from this point you just group the right terms. So it will be 3x and then 2x plus 2x minus y minus 3y. So you say 3x plus 2x to be 5x, negative y minus 3y to be -4y, yes, and then you put your answer here. So you say 5x minus 4y, like that, and then you are done for question 1. Now for the next question we have, it is saying evaluate 81 over 16 in the brackets to the power -1 over 4 plus 81 over 16, like that. So to the power 0. So this question is very simple. Yeah, it is very simple. Let me just rub this part on top so that I use the space. So we have 81 over 16 close brackets -1 over 4 plus 81 over 16 to the power 0. So there are two methods which you can use to solve this question. So the first one is a bit long, but the second one is just a shortcut. So I would encourage you to know the long one, because it explains how you are able to do with indices. So the first one, you go like this. So this negative which you are seeing here, it just simply means that this it is the whole of this, it is the inverse. So if you have the inverse of something, therefore it will be 1 over. Now this 1 over that we have introduced, it is more like the other form of writing what this negative, more like, just picture it in that way, and then whatever you are going to remain with, it will be 81 over 16 to the power 1 over 4, like that. And then from this point you are going to proceed to do your calculations. Now when you have let's say we have a to the power 1 over 2, like that, you and I understand that this 2 becomes the root. So in this case it will be the square root of a, and then this 1, which is the numerator, becomes the the power like that, the power of everything, and then you find your answer like that. So having this in mind, therefore our work will be very easier. So the question will be 1 over the fourth root of 81 over 16 to the power. Now this one, which is the numerator, becomes the power like that. And then if you are to simplify this, so the fourth root of 81, you just say, you look for the number which when you multiply 4 times you're going to get 81. So in this case you say a 3. So you can even try 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. How many 3's do we have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you say 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 3, 27. 27 times 3, it is 81 like that. So your value which we want here, it will be 1 over 3 over, now the fourth root of 16, it is 2. So you can even try, you say 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 is equals to, so you say 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 2, it is 16 like that. So you write a 2 down there. Now what's your question? For 81. No, so as you can see the bracket, this is the bigger bracket, the bigger fourth root. So yeah, if you want to, you can do this, because this that we which we have here, it can be presented in the form of okay, let me just say, if you have a over b, this, let's say this is squared, but since it is the squared, therefore you do not put a 2 there, unless if it starts from 3 showing it. So if it is like this is same as the root of a over the root of b. So this is one and the same. So me, I've just done this directly. Yeah. So when you're at this point, we are going to proceed to say this one, you say 1. Since this is over, which means over means division, so you say divide by what? 3 over 2. And then you and I understand that in order for us to introduce multiplication, the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. So in this case it will be 1 times 2 over, because any number it is over 1, so 2 over 3 like that. So this will be your answer, so you write it there, 2 over 3. Yes, so that's how you solve this question. So the other method which you can use is this one, the crook method. So the crook method is this one. Since you have 81 over 16 to the power negative 1 over 4 plus, oh sorry, I've forgotten one thing. We have forgotten plus this, right? So we say plus 81 over 16. So I've just forgotten this, guys, sorry. So this is not our final answer. So if you have this, let me just show it by using the crook method. But this thing, you just simplify it the way we simplified it. We had 2 over 3. But you know that any number to the power 0 is what? A 1. So all of this becomes a 1 because it is the power is 0. Now the common denominator, it is a 3. So 3 into 3, it is just a 1. 1 multiplied by 2 to be 2. 1 into 3, it is a 3. 3 multiplied by positive 7, it is positive 3 like that. So your final answer becomes 5 over 3 like that. So this was supposed to be our final answer, not that one which we wrote. Now I want to show you the crook method of simplifying this, the big thing. which we had in this question. So we have plus open bracket 81 over 16 to the power 0. So if you have a negative there, since we understand that this negative, it just shows the reciprocal of this number, so you can just swap in advance. The denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. So in this case you swap just 16 and 18 there, like that, and then you're going to have a positive 1 over 4 plus any number to the power 0, it is just a 1 there, and then you look for the fourth root of 16 and 81, like that, plus what, a 1, and remember the numerator here, which is 1, becomes the power. So if we had a 2 there, if it was a 2, which simply means that it could have been, we could have raised this whole thing to the power what, to the power 2, but in this case it's just power what, power 1, so you say to the power 1, like that. So the fourth root, do not forget to indicate here. So the fourth root of 16, it is a 2. The fourth root of 81, sorry, why am I writing 18? It's supposed to be 81. It's supposed to be 81, like that, yes, like that. So the fourth root of 81, it is what, a 3 plus a 1 there. So do not forget to include the equal signs, like that. So you say the common denominator, we know it is a 3. 3 into 3 is 1. 1 multiplied by 2, just a 2. 3 into 3, 1 into 3, it is 3. 3 multiplied by positive 1 is positive 3, which is equals to 5 over 3, like that. So this is the other way of showing it or solving this question. So the next question, is saying the gradient of the line joining points, which is the points that they are talking about, it is negative 2 comma k and open bracket k comma negative 14. Now the gradient of the line joining these 2 points, this and that, the gradient, which is represented by m, is equals to 2. Now calculate the value of k. You and I understand that the gradient is given by what, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, like that. So they have given us the gradient and then they needed us to find the what, the value of k. So here you can just say, you can even make anything to be the first or to be the second. So in my case, I'll make this to be x1 and y1, x2 and y2, like that. So I'll just substitute here. So I'm going to have a 2 is equals to y2, it is negative 14 minus y1, it is just a k there, like that, over x2, it is what, k, minus x1, it is negative 2, like that. So you say 2 is equals to negative 14 minus k over k, negative 1 multiplied by negative 2 to be just positive 2, or you can just say negative multiplied by negative 2 to be positive 2, like that. And then you understand from this point, if you have a equal sign here, we can just say this 2, it is over 1, and then we do cross multiplication. So I'm going to complete this on this point. So we are going to have 2 multiply with what, k plus 2, which is equals to, here we have a 1 down there, we are going to have 1 multiplied by negative 14 minus k, like that. So you say 2 times k, it is 2k. 2 times positive 2 to positive 4 is equals to 1 times negative 14, it is negative 14. 1 times negative k, it is just negative k. And then at this point you group the right terms. So you say here I can add positive k to both sides so that this negative k cancels. But let me not confuse you. I'll just say this negative k comes to this side, it will be 2k. When it comes to this side, it will be positive k, which is equals to negative 14. Even the it will be the same thing. So 4, when it goes to the other side, it will be negative 4, like that. So you say 2k plus k, it will be positive 3k, which is equals to negative 14 minus 4. Since you have negative negative, therefore you add and get the sign from the bigger number. So it will be what? Negative 18, like that, over 3 over 3. So your k will be equal to negative 3 into 18, it is 6. So you say k is equals to negative 6, like that. Any questions? Clear? So that's your answer. Question 4. Question 4 is saying factorize. Guys, factorizing is very simple. So here they have said factorize completely, which simply means that you must leave it whereby you cannot factorize it any further. Yeah. So you are going to write your question first. A x squared y minus 4a y to the power 3. So the first thing, you have to look for what is common. So what is common at this point and that point? As we can see, it is a and a y. So you say a y. Now when we divide a y into a x squared y, so it will be more like this: a x squared y, when we divide it by a y, so this and that it is 1, that and that it is 1. So 1 multiplied by x squared and divided by the one which it will remain down when you divide it into x squared, it will be just what? X squared, right? So you're going to have x squared. Even at that point, you're going to have 4a y to the power 3 divided by what? A y. So a into a is just a 1, y into y to the power 3 to be y squared, because you're going to remain with what? Y squared, because y down it divides into y to the power 3. So you are going to remain with this, so to be minus 4y squared, like that. And then when you reach at this point, you are able to see which is familiar here. You have x squared, y squared. It is possible that you are going to have two different of what? Of squares. But here it is 4. So we can just break down this. So how can we break this down? We can say 2 to the power 2. So we say 2 to the power 2, it is what? It is equals to 4. So you are going to say x squared minus 2 to the power 2 y squared, like that. So you are going to have ay open bracket x minus 2y. We introduce the two different of squares, and then you are going to say x plus 2y close bracket. So here you have factorizing completely. So x minus 2y, you write your answer there, x plus 2y, like that. There's nothing difficult here, just follow the steps. Any questions? Okay. So question 5. Our question 5, you have to understand this. The question reads, the points P and Q have coordinates 2, 4 and negative 3, 1 respectively. Express PQ as a column vector. So when they say as a column vector, you know that a column which is represented by A and B. This is the column. Now they want us to represent our answer in this form. So you have to understand that these points, they are all starting from the origin. if I were to make a plot of this point, it will be like this. It will be like this. So we have uh, our p, it is what, 2 comma 4. So let's say we have x, it is x, it is 2, our x, they have said it is what, a 2, so write a 2 there, and then our y, it is what, a 4. So we have, let's say we put a 4 at that point, and then our q, it is negative 3 comma 1. So negative 3 to be here, and then x, it is 1, like that. Now if we are to plot this, it will be, our q will be that point, and then our p will be at that point. So having that in mind, which simply means that this is the our q is starting from that point, reaching that point. Even our q is starting from that point, reaching that point. You have to understand that this point, where they are coming from, it is the origin, and then in here it is 0, and then it is represented by letter O, like that. So if you have our p there and then our q there, which simply means that we are starting from O going to what, to p, like that, and then we are starting from O going to what, to q. So it is always that we are starting from the origin. So if we were to represent this in the column form, therefore it will be O p as a vector going where, which means our coordinates, I mean, will be what, 2, which represent for x, and then 4, which represent for y. And then our q, it is starting from the origin, so it is o q as a vector, it will be like that, negative 3 and a 1. Now they have said express pq as a column vector. So our pq will be this. So pq, like that. Our pq will be equal to, now we are starting from what, from p. So you are at this point, right? You need to start moving from p going to q. So you have to move po. So from this point you go to that point. From that point, now that's when you go to what, to q. That's the way, that is the way which is there. So you say po plus o q, like that. Therefore you say pq is equals to, now we only have op. Now what is pq, I mean po? Po is just the opposite of op. So if you have op, which is 2 and 4, then our po as a vector, because we follow the direction, so our direction will be, we'll have a negative there, 2 and a 4, like that. So this negative can just multiply, because we know that we have a bracket outside, so this negative can multiply everything inside. So negative times 2 to be negative 2, negative times 4 to be negative 4 there. So this is your po. So you say po will be, open bracket, negative 2, negative 4, plus oq will be negative 3 and a 1, like that. So you have pq, which is equals to, now here you just add negative 3 plus negative 3. Negative is common, so you add and get the sign from the bigger number. So here to be negative 6. How? Supposed to be negative 5.
Oh, negative 5, yes.
Yes, to be negative 5. Yes, negative 5, negative 4 plus a 1. So negative is just a 1 there. You
Negative
subtract
3.
and then get the sign from the bigger number, which will be negative
3.
3. So that is your that is your answer as PQ in the column vector. So do not forget they have even written for you PQ is equals to, you just say negative 5 and negative 3, like that. So I hope we have understood how we go about this question.
Yes. Sinanziko, but naviona vifoneka kuti tikange standard please, please.
So it is like this. You have to understand that. Let me just start again for you. So the points P and Q have coordinates P, comma 2, I mean 2, comma 4 and negative 3, comma 1 respectively. Express PQ as a column vector. So here they are just saying you have to express this as a column vector. So you have to understand that we have the coordinates. These are coordinates. So the coordinates on the Cartesian plane, they are like this. So this is P, they have said it is 2, comma 4. So our X, it is a 2 there. It is a 2 there. And then here it is comma what? Comma 4. So this is P. This is Q. Like that. So if we have this, you have to understand that we are starting from the origin, which is represented by letter O. So from the origin it is 0. So it's more like we are moving from the origin going to what? To P. So because P, it is coordinated at this at that point. So which simply means that we are moving from this point going to that point. You understand? And then this is, they have said this is what? P, like that. And then we have this, which is what? Q. Q, it is plotted as negative 3, comma what? Comma 1. So 1, let's say it is there. So which means our Q, it is at this point, at that point. So you say Q at that point. So if you are starting from that point, even this one, you are starting from the origin going to that point, like that. And then they have said PQ. So if you are starting from the origin, it is always that you are starting from OP. So the origin, you are starting from O, you are starting from O going to P, like that, and then you are starting from O going to Q. Now this origin, you have been found to be at that point. So you have to move from P going to Q. But the way that we only have it is from P to O and then O to Q. So you are going to say PQ is equals to PO plus OQ, like that. Now if we are to get these coordinates, we have OP, right? OP is represented by what? Starting from the origin going to P, it is represented by 2, comma 4, like that. And then our OQ, starting from the origin, it is saying negative 3 and what? And 1. So this, we have expressed this as the column vector. Now we are looking for PO, right? So if you have OP, now what is PO? PO is just the opposite of what? Of OP. So it will be PO, since this is the positive, therefore the opposite will be negative. So it will be negative 2, 4, like that. So you say this negative can multiply inside, so it will be negative 2, negative 4, like that. So we are going to say PQ is represented by negative 2 comma negative 4 plus OQ. You just get this direct because it is agreeing with our direction. We are starting from P going to O and then from O to Q, like that. So it will be negative 3 and 1 there. So PQ is equals to negative 3 plus negative 3. You understand that this is negative 5. Negative 3 plus 1, it will be negative 3, like that. And then you write your answer, negative 5, negative 3, like that. So our next question is saying shade B complement intersection A intersection C in the Venn diagram below. In the Venn diagram in the answer space. So this is our Venn diagram. So if you want, you just have to use the pencil. So you and I understand that B complement, you start by B complement. So B complement, it is more like we don't want anything from B but the rest. So B complement will be this. Our B complement will be this. This is our B complement, not outside, sorry. This is our B complement. Everything in the universal set, it is the B complement, and also this. But as you can see, you have seen where I've ended. So we have just remained with what? B there. So this B complement, it must be intersected with what? It must be intersected with the A intersection B. You and I understand that A intersection B, it is at what point? A intersection B, it is at this point, right?
Yes.
Up. This. So this is A intersection B. So if we have A intersection B like that, which simply means that the one, I mean A intersection C, not B, sorry. A intersection C, it has that point, right? And then B complement, it is everything here at this side. Also. So the one which they want, it is at that point, at this point, at that point where there is red, because it is the one which is what? Which is common. But if you want, you can use the numbers, because sometimes numbers are easy to deal with. But for this part, I'll just end here, as in just for the shortcut. So your answer, it is at this point, like that. So that is your answer. Any questions? It is clear.
Clear.
So question 7 is saying, given that A is equals to that and B is equals to that, find A transpose. So how do you find a transpose? A transpose, it is a matrix whereby it differs with the original in such a way that the column becomes a row and the row becomes a column. So they have said A transpose. So we want to find this, right? So our A is equals to 3, 2 and 1, 4, 3 and 0, like that. So they want A transpose. So our row becomes our column. So our row, which is 3, 2, 1, becomes our column, which is 3, 2, 1. And then our row, which is down, becomes 4, 3, 0 as a what? A column, like that. So that's our answer. So you write your answer here to be AT is equals to 3, 2, 1 and 4, 3, 0, like that. So that's your answer. Now you have to understand this. They have said AB as a single fraction. So as you can see from AB there, AB. So at this point, it just A multiplied by what? By B. So you say AB will be equals to 3, 2, 1, our matrix A, 4, 3, and 0, multiplied by, you can even show the multiplication there, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, like that. So when we multiply this, you understand that a row multiplied by what? A column, right? So these are rows and then these are columns. So you multiply by that. So you say AB is equals to, now when you start multiplying, you add again. So when we say 3 multiplied by 1, by 1, it is 3, plus 2 multiplied by 3, it is 6, plus 1 multiplied by 0, it is just a 0. Now we are moving to the next column, therefore you have to go to the next as well. You have to leave a space. So you say 3 multiplied by 2, it is a 6, plus 2 multiplied by 2, it is a 4, plus 1 multiplied by 1, it is a what? A 1, like that. You are moving to the next what? To the next column. You also move to the next. So you say 3 multiplied by 2, 3 multiplied by 3,
It's
it
9.
will be 9. 2 multiplied by 1, it will be plus a 2, and then 1 multiplied by 0, it is just a 0, like that. And then we move down to this row. You also move down. So you say 4 multiplied by 2, it is 8. 3 multiplied by 2, it is plus 6. 0 multiplied by 0, it is just a 0. You move to the next column, you also move to the next. So you say 4 multiplied by 2, it is 8, plus 3 multiplied by 2, it is a 6, plus 0 multiplied by 1, it is a 0. You also move to the next, we are moving to the next column. So you say 4 multiplied by 3, it is a 12. 3 multiplied by 1, it will be just a 3, and then 0 multiplied by 0, it will be plus a 0. Now at that point you just add. So you say AB is equals to, open bracket, so 3 plus 6 plus 0 is just a 9, 6 plus 4 plus 1 is just 11, 9 plus 2 plus a 0 is just 11, 8 plus 6 plus 0 is just um, this is what, 13, this is 14, right?
Which one?
This one, 8 plus 6 is just a 14, even 8 plus 6 plus 0 is just a 14, right? And then 12 plus 3 plus 0 is just a what? A 15, like that. So your answer AB will be equals to 9, 11, 11, 14, 14, and a 15, like that. That's your answer. Understood?
Mm.
So move to the next question. So for the sequence 25, 22, 19, 16, it continues like that. Find they are saying the formula for the nth term. So the formula for the nth term, it will be given by Tn is equals to a plus, open bracket, n minus 1, close bracket, and a d, like that. And then you have to find d. What is d? D is the common difference. So D, you say common difference is the number which when they add it they are giving them the next terms. So D will be given by T2 minus T1. As you can see, the numbers are what? Are decreasing, are decreasing. Therefore, our common difference, it is a number which when we add is going to reduce the next term. So our common difference will be T2 will be what? 22 minus what is our T1 would be 25. So this is our T2, this is our T1, this is our T3, this is our T4, like that. So you say D is equals to,
You made the mistake. I'm sure T2 and then T1.
oh I mean yeah, this is our T1, T2, T3 and T4, like that. So you say 22 minus 25 will be negative 3, like that. So you say Tn is equals to our first term, which is 25, open bracket n, I mean there's a positive there, don't forget, n minus 1 and then negative 3, like that. So Tn will be equals to 25 plus negative 3 times n, so it will be negative 3n. Negative 3 times the negative 1, it will be positive 3, like that. So our Tn will be equals to 25, positive times negative 3n to be just negative 3n, positive times positive 3 to be just positive 3. So Tn will be equals to 25 plus, you group the like terms, plus 3 minus 3n. Tn will be equals to 25 plus 3 to be just 28 negative 3n. So here this is the formula that which when we use you are going to find the second term. So in this case, let's assume here it was x, which is 16, and then we have identified that this is the fourth term, right? And then n, we know that it is the one which determines the nth term. So this is not important because you have found your answer there. That is your answer which they need. So just to clarify you guys, this formula, when they say find the formula for the nth term, which simply means that it is the formula which when they use they're going to get the term. So we say Tn is equals to, now we say we have 28 minus 3n. So let's assume that here we didn't have a 16, and then they have said let's find the fourth term, right? So it will be T1, T2, T3, T4. So the fourth term will be represented by 4. So we say T4 is equals to 28 minus 3, open bracket, you have a 4 there. So it will be T4 is equals to 28 minus 3 times 4, it will be what? 12. And then when you say 28 minus 12, it will be 8 minus 2 to be a 6, 2 minus 1 to be what? Is a 1. So our T4 will be equals to 16. As you can see, we have found our fourth term, which is 16 in the term. So that's what they mean when they say find the formula for the nth term. Now the next question is saying find the what? The sum. The sum. Do not forget to include your answer here. So you can just say Tn is equals to 28 minus 3n. So they want us to find the sum of the first 20 terms. So the sum is given by Sn is equals to n over 2, open bracket, 2a plus, open bracket, n minus 1, and then a d, which is a common difference, and then close bracket, like that. So they have said the sum of the first 20 terms. So it is S20 is equals to, now our n will be what? 20 over 2, open bracket, 2, open bracket, our 8 is 25 plus, open bracket, 20 minus a 1, and then our common difference, it is negative 3, like that, close bracket. So you say S20 is equals to 10, 2 into 20, it is 10, 2 multiplied by 25, it will be a 50, like that, plus, open bracket, 20 minus 9 minus 1, I mean it is 19, sorry, minus 3, like that. So negative 3 multiplied by 19. So you can just do on the side, which will be 3. So 3 times 9, it is 27. Remainder 2, 3 times 2, 3 times 1, I mean it is 3, plus 2 it is 5, which is 57. So it will be negative 357 because the 3 has a negative. So S20 will be equals to 20 open bracket 50 positive open bracket negative 57, like that, and then you close bracket. So S20 will be equals to 10 open bracket, so you have a 50 positive times negative, which is negative 57, like that. So our S20 will be equal to 10 open bracket 50 minus 57, it is what, negative 7, right? So our S20 will be equal to negative 70, like that. So you say S20 is equals to negative 70, because as you can see, the numbers are just decreasing. So that is our sum. Any questions? But now it's clear, huh? So question 9 guys, it's easy and straightforward. So here we are saying down L is on 0 degrees, 30 degrees west, and down K is on open bracket 0 degrees and then 60 degrees east, as shown in the diagram below. So as you can see, our latitude, it is 0 degrees, therefore we are allowed to say this is the equator. So but that's not important, that's not our interest, but you just have to know that this is our equator. So the question A is saying, if a radio quiz is scheduled to start at 12 hours at L, find the time at which the people at K will be listening to the what? To the quiz. So how can you find the time? You can only find the time if you know the difference in what? Longitudes. So we have to find the difference in longitude. So the difference in longitude is equals to, so the longitude of what? Of L. Now you have to see, you have to remember that thing which I always say, does different add, same subtract. So in this case it is 30 degrees west and 60 degrees east, therefore they are different, they are difference. So we say L plus K in longitude. So you say difference will be equal to, so you just say 30 degrees plus 60 degrees, but you do well by starting with 60 degrees plus 30 degrees, but even here it's okay. So you are going to have a 90 degrees. So if we have found the difference in longitude, you have to find the difference in hours, because only those difference in hours will help us to do what? To find the time. So you and I agree that 1 hour is equals to 15 degrees, and then if we have the difference of 90 degrees, how many hours can we have? So this is just a conversion of degrees into hours. So here you understand that you can just do cross multiplication, right? So to be 15x degrees is equals to 90 degrees hour over 15 degrees over 15 degrees. So 15 degrees and 15 degrees go, x is equals to a degree and a degree will go. 15 into 90, it is what? It is 6 hours, like that. So if you have 6 hours, and then you and I agree that time to east does what? Increases. Time to west does what? Decreases. So it will be given by the negative. So if it increases and then you have the time there, which is this time, so you just add. So you just say 12 hours plus 6 hours. It will be given by what? It will be 12 plus 6, it is what? 18, right? So you have the time to be 18. So your time will be equal to 18 hours. So your answer here, you just say time will be equal to 18 hours. So that will be the time which the quiz the quiz will start. Any questions? It is clear.
And then where did you come up with? Where is this? Oh, two of you check it out.
Mm. So let's go to B. What is the difference between A and K in kilometers? Given R 6370 kilometers, pi is equals to 22 over 7. Now, here we know that short formula that we always use. But in this case, do not use that formula because these, they want to see you breaking down these. They are not interested in the answer yet. They are interested in how you break down this. So you start. You know how they find distance. Distance is given by what? Theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r, which is the radius. Now, since it is in the latitude, therefore you are finding the shortest distance between A and K. Therefore, this will be given by cos latitude. Now, you know that cos lat, it is what? 0 degree, 0 degrees. That is our latitude. And then pi we have been given, and then radius we also been given. So you say distance between A and K will be equals to, now theta, it is the difference. Now the difference we already found, which was equals to what? 90 degree, 90 degrees. So you say 90 degrees over 360 degrees multiplied by 2 multiplied by our pi we have been given, which is 22 over 7 times 63 70 kilometers multiplied by cos 0 degrees. And then you say distance will be equals to, now here, that's where now you just start doing what? Reducing the numbers. So 0 and 0 can cancel. You're going to remain with 9 over 36 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 over 7 multiplied by 63 70 multiplied by, now cos 0, you have to remember that cos 0 is always equals to 1, like that. So you say distance will be equal to, now how many times can 9 enter into 36? 4 times, right? So you're going to have 1 over 4 multiplied by a 2 multiplied by 22 over a 7 multiplied by 63 70, like that. Now you start reducing again. So the number that can enter into 4 and 2, it is just a 2. So 2 there, it's 1. 2 there, it's what? A 2. Now we know that 2 can enter into 22 by 3 times. So we have 11 there and a 1 there. So we are going to have 1 over 1 multiplied by 11 over 7 multiplied by 63 70, like that. So this is just the same as over 1. So distance is equals to, now it's more like you just have 11 over 7 multiplied by 63 70 over 1. Now you have to divide 7 into 63 70. So you can just go on the side, you say 63 70, like that, and then you divide this by 7, will be equal to, so you say 7 into 6, it can't, you write a 0, you get a 3. 7 into 63, it is what? So we know that in 49 we have how many 7? 7. And then you add a 7, like that. 7 into 9, 7 plus 9, it is what? 9. It is 16. So you say 6, 4 plus 1 to be just a 5, 56. So this will be equal to what? We have a 56 there. Now we need to reach where 63 is. You also add the 7 again, so plus a 7 there. So 7 plus 6, it is what? 3, right? 13, right? So you say 13, which is 3 remainder 1, and then 5 plus 1, it will be just 63. So you know that you have already 7, here you have just 1 7, also here you have 1 7. So 7 plus 1, 8. 8 plus 1, it is 9. So 7 into 63, it is 9 times. 7 into 7, it is just a 1. 7 into 0 is just a what? A 0. So you get this number, which is 910. So this 0 in front, it means nothing, right? So you can just say 910 like that. That is your value that you are interested. So you say D is equals to 11 over a 1 multiplied by 9 10 over a 1. So 11 multiplied by 9 10, you can just go on the side as well. You say 9 10 multiplied by 11 like that. So 1 multiplied by 0, just a 0. 1 multiplied by a 1, 9 10, sorry, it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, 9 into multiplied by 1, just a 1. 1 multiplied by 9, just a 9. 1 multiplied by 0, just a 0. 1 multiplied by 1, just a 1. 1 multiplied by 9, just a 9 like that. And then you add this. So it will be 0, 1, 10, 0 remainder 1, 9 plus 1, 10 like that. So you say you are going to have your distance will be equal to 1 0 0 1 0. Now they have said it is in kilometers, therefore you put kilometers like that. So your distance is close to 10010 kilometers. So they were interested to see how you are going to break down these numbers, not shortcuts, which you guys know. So we can proceed to the next question, right?
So this question is all about
Yes,
the simplest numbers.
yes. But if there are some questions which they just say find the speed, if you're not given the distance and they just say find the speed, this is where now you use the short formula which we all know.
Okay, so mind you, in this position, when we are in this position,
hmm
if why can't we just multiply
11
11 times
this and then we divide by 7.
divide by 7?
Yeah, even that it is just okay,
It will give
but
us the same number
yes, it gives us the same number, but it will just take time.
because the number will be big on top.
Yes, the number will be big on top, and then you guys, you know that you have
Yes.
anxiety in an exam, so you might even make a mistake. So just follow as, just use the numbers which seem to be easy to divide.
Okay.
Yes. So go to the next question, which is question 10. So question 10 is saying the probability that Chakupaleza will go for remedial lessons on a particular day is 7 over 10. What is the probability that she will not go for her remedial lessons on that particular day? So probability, guys, whether someone is going or not going is always equals to 1. So you just say probability that she is going. So uh, I don't know if she is she or he, but Chakupaleza will go. So the probability that this person will go plus the probability that this person will not go is always equal to 1. So they have said that the probability that Chakupaleza will go for remedial lessons on a particular day is 7 over 10. So you say 7 over 10 plus probability that she will not, he or she will not go is equals to what? A 1. Now, here you have to understand. Um, you just have to find the probability that this person will not go. So just group the like terms. So you say probability that this person will not go is equals to, now you are going to have a 1. This when come to this side will be negative 7 over 10. Remember, the thing of saying this will go to this side is not true. That's not mathematics. But we can just subtract this. We use elimination method in order for us to come up, in order for us to simplify our work. So you say probability that this person will not go will be equals to. So here, if you want, you can just say 10 multiplied by 1, it will be a 10, and then minus 7, and then you maintain the denominator, which is a 10. But since we might have some challenges, you can just say you look for the common denominator. So you know that any number is over a 1 over minus 7 over 10. So it will be equal to the common denominator there, it is 10. So 1 into 10, it is 10, and then 10 multiplied by 1 is just a 10. 10 into 10, it is 1. 1 multiplied by negative 7 to be negative 7. So this will be 10 minus 7 will be a 3 over what? A 10, like that. So your answer, you say 3 over 10. That is the probability that this person will not go, like that. Now let's come to this simple question as well. So the question is saying solve the equation 10x is equals to 0.0001. So we need to find the value of x. How can we find the value of x? By just making the denominator, the bases to be equal, so that we cancel them. So just follow my steps here, guys. This question is very simple. Even though it is 2 marks, that's the reason why they are interested in the steps. That's the reason why it is even given 2 marks. So it is saying 10 to the power x is equals to 0. How many zeros that we have? 3 zeros. So there's a proper explanation which I can give you, but just for your memory, right, you can just say 10x is equals to, now you have to count the zeros which you have, and then you get rid of those zeros, and then you introduce a number which will start from 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, going like that. So if you count, how many zeros do we have? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So you're going to remain with what? A 1. So you say a 1 divided by the number which we're going to have 4 zeros. So it will be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. This is the simpler way which I can tell you guys. But normally the way we convert this, it is like this. So you say 0.0001. You divide by a 1, like that. You multiply by, now you have how many zeros? So we need to cancel these zeros. So we multiply by what? So you can even count the zeros again. You say 1, 2, 3, 4. So you say 1, 0, 0, 0, and then also over 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. So when you move a point from this point to that point, you cancel a 0. You move a point from that point to this point, you cancel 0. You move a point from that point to this point, you cancel 0. You move the point to that point, you cancel 0. You are going to remain with 1. Now 1 multiplied by a 1, it will be just a 1, over 1 multiplied by this, it will be what? 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, like that. So here I've just did a shortcut method. So we say we are going to say we have 10x is equals to, now remember, if we remember in our first question, the negative that we had, let's say for example we have a to the power negative 1. This negative becomes 1 over a to the power 1. Or I can even say, if I have a to the power negative 2, this can be written as 1 over, this negative becomes 1 over because it is a reciprocal, and then we have a to the power 2, like that. So remember this always when you're dealing with indices. These are the rules of indices, guys. So having that in mind, we are going to have this 10,000 to the power negative 1, like that. Now if we want to make the bases to be the same, and then we have a 10,000, which simply means that we must look for the number. In short, that number, our guide, it is 10, right? So you can just say 10 to the power. Now how many zeros do you have? 1 2 3 4. So you can just say 10 to the power 4. So how smart I am to come up with this form. You can even try by saying 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10. So 10 times 10, 100. 100 multiplied by 10, 1000. 1000 multiplied by 10, it is 10,000, like that. So you are going to have a 10 to the power x is equals to 10 to the power 4. Now we have two powers, a 4, and we had already what? This power, which is negative 1. So you say 10 to the power x is equals to 10 to the power negative 4. So the bases are now the same. You cancel them. You're going to have x is equals to negative 4. So your answer will be x is equals to the power negative 4. So here I've just applied the rules of indices, guys. I hope it's clear. It's English.
Just a minute, don't lag.
Yeah, so that's how you go about these questions.
Okay.
Again, so just remember the rules of indices. If you just remember the rules of indices, then everything will be fine.
Otherwise, I was having difficulties with zeros.
Mm.
This is one of
So now you have known, right?
Yes.
Mm. Just follow it systematically, and then if you forgot, just search Transcendent Institute extra, and then you'll be able to see these videos.
Translated what?
Transcendent Institute extra. You just put the word extra, and then you'll be able to see the videos if you forgot. Especially when you're about to enter the exam, it's very necessary just for you to go through the video, just not even rush to solve many past papers alone without confirming answers. No, just watch the videos as many as you can with the answers. Just see the explanation, how they are explaining, and then you go and write the exam. You will see, because some questions they might be even repeated. So we go to the next question. So this question 11, they are saying, given that E is equals to that and A is equals to that, and then B is equals to that, list A complement intersection B. So even this one, you just follow it systematically. So you just say A is equals to 4 comma 8 comma 12, like that. So they want A complement, so which means we don't want elements in A, but the rest we want. So you compare this to the universal set that we have there, this. So you say 2 is 2 in 4 in A? No. So you write. Is 4 in A? Yes, you do not write. Is 6 in A? No, you write. Is 8 in A? Yes, do not write. Is 10 in A? No, you write. Is 12 in A? No. Yes, it is. So do not write. So this is A complement. Now, you list B. They have said intersection B, right? You also list B like that. So B, it is 2, 10, and 12. Now, they want what? Intersection. So A complement intersection B is given by, you look for what is common, which is what? 2 and what? And 10, like that. So that is your answer. So A complement intersection B is equals to 2 comma 10. That is your answer. Simple, right?
Yes, just wait a minute.
Now, question B. The diagram is a sector with its center O and radius 7 centimeter. Angle at 0 is 270 degrees. Calculate the area of the sector. So, this question as well, they are interested to see how you are going to break down the what? The numbers, how you are going to simplify. So if you just know how to simplify these numbers, almost mathematics paper 1, it's very easy to solve. So let's begin. Now, so the question is saying we have been given radius, so you can even correct the data. Radius is equals to 7 centimeters. Our angle, it is equals to, which is our theta, is equals to 270 degrees. And then what else do we have? We have been given our pi, which is 22 over 7, like that. So you say we know the formula of the sector. The formula of the sector is given by theta over 360 by r squared. So you just start substituting the values. So our area will be equals to, what is our theta? It's 270 degrees over 360 degrees, like that. Multiply by 22 over 7, multiply by 7, multiply by 7, because we understand that our radius, we have two radius there. So you see area is equals to, now you start simplifying. 7 and 7 will go, 0 and a 0 down there will go. Now we look for the number that can enter into what? 36 and 22 if we want. So you can just say 2 into 22, it's 11. 2 into 36, it is 18, right? So you say 27 over 18 multiplied by 11 over 1 multiplied by 7 over 1, because any number is over 1. Our area is equals to, now 3 can enter into 27 how many times? 9 times. So if you can start by saying 3 into 15, it is 5. 3 into 6, 3 into 18, it is 6. 3 into 21, it is 7. 3 into 24, it is 8. 3 into 27, it is 9. So you have 9 over. Now 3 into 18, it is 6. Multiplied by 11 over 1 multiplied by a 7 there. So what else can enter? 3 into 9, it is what? A 3. And then 3 into 6, it is a 2. Multiplied by 11 times 7 over 1 over 1, like that. So here you cannot simplify this any further, so you just multiply. Now you say 11 times 7, it is 77, right? So you say 77 multiplied by what? By 3. So you do this on the different side, right? So you say 3 times 7, it is 21. So you say 1 remainder 2. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 2, it is 23, right? 23, like that. So your area will be equals to 231 over 2 centimeter squared. You just get these units here. They are the ones that have been given. Let me just write this so that it is visible. So our area, we have said, is equals to 231 over 2. If we divide this, as we can see, we have a 1 there. So this will give us a decimal point. So you just leave your answer like this. And then you put here area is equals to 231 over 2 centimeter squared. Any questions?
No questions.
So sometimes they might give you area, and then they say find what? Find either the angle, or they can even say find the radius. You just break it down the way I've break it down there, and then you know how we convert the decimal points into fractions. Then you're home and dry.
Yes.
So the last question. Okay, there's a supplementary question now. The last question. So the functions f and g are defined by f of x is equals to 2x plus a 1, and g of x is equals to 5x minus a 1. Find a g inverse of x. So they have said g inverse of x, right? So you say g of x, will get the function of g of x is equals to 5x minus a 1. So you say let g inverse of x equals to y. Or if you want, you can just say let g of x is equals to y. That makes sense. But again, at the end, you have to put g inverse of x. So, but yeah, you can just say let g of x equal to y. So let's just say let g of x equal to y. So you say y is equals to 5x minus 1. And then at this point, make x the subject. The subject. So how do you make x the subject? Say y, when this comes to this side, it will be positive 1 is equals to 5x over 5, because we want to remain with the x. So our x is equals to y plus a 1 over a 5. When you reach at this point, interchange the what? The variables. What are the variables that we have? We have x and y. So you say where there is x, you put a y. Where there is y, you put an x. Like that. And then you say therefore, f, which is g inverse of x is equals to what? X plus a 1 over 5. So your answer to be g inverse of x is equals to x plus 1 over 5. That's your answer. Clear?
Very clear.
So the second question, they are saying b, which is find g of x. So uh,
Yeah.
I can rub.
Yes,
Okay.
we can. F G.
So we need to find the fg of x, right? So fg of x is like this. Fg of x is like this, eh? So where there is x, they have put g of x. So it is more like this. Where there is x, they have put g of x. So g of x plus a 1. So f g of x is given by, so where there is x, they have put g of x, right? So you say g of x open bracket 5x minus a 1 plus a 1. So this will be equal to 2 multiplied by 5x, it is 10x. 2 multiplied by negative 1, it is negative 2 plus a 1, which is equals to what? 10x negative 2 plus a 1, it is negative 1. So your f g of x is equals to 10x minus a 1, like that. Now this is your answer for this question, but they want us to find what? Fg of negative 3. So as you can see, this fg of x is similar to fg of negative 3, just that where there is x, they have put negative 3. So you say fg of x is equals to 10x minus a 1. So where there is x, they have put what? Negative 3. So it will be 10 open bracket negative 3, like that, minus a 1. So fg of negative 3 is equals to negative what? 30, right?
Yes.
Minus a 1, which is equals to negative 31. So your answer here becomes fg of negative 1 is equals to negative 31. Easy, huh? So we go to the next question. So the next question, the supplementary question 9. So we are done for this part 1. So just for this question which I wanted to explain to you guys, which is differentiation. So differentiation, you have to remember that it is the formula is given by a multiplied by n multiplied by x to the power n minus a 1, like that, which simply means that a, it is the coefficient, n, it is the power, and then x, it is the variable, and then the rule is that the power must be reduced by a 1, like that. So having that in mind, each component in the function, it must be differentiated using this formula that we have written there. So you say y is equals to 1 over 3 x to the power 3 minus 5x to the power 2 minus 2x. So when we differentiate this with respect to x, we are going to have dy over dx, which is equals to, now we have said the coefficient multiplied by what? The power, which is n. So you just say 1 over 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by what? The variable, which is x, to the power what? To the power 3 minus a 1, like that, minus, now the coefficient, it is negative 5 multiplied by n, which is a 2, multiplied by the coefficient, which is the variable, which is x, I mean, and then 2 must be reduced by a 1. Same here, negative 2. We know that this x, it has a power which is visible, which is a what? A 1. And then multiplied by x to the power 1 minus a 1 there. And then we say dy over dx is equals to, now 1 over 3 times 3, it's just a 1. If we say 1 over 3 multiplied by 3, this will be 3 over 3. 3 into 3 is equals to 1. So this becomes just a 1. So you have a 1 multiplied by x to the power 2. Now negative 5 multiplied by 2, it will be negative 10. 10x to the power 2 minus 1 is just a 1 there. Now we have negative 2 multiplied by 1 to be just negative 2 multiplied by x. 1 minus 1, it is 0. So you have dy over dx, which is equals to 1 multiplied by x squared is just x squared, negative 10x to the power 1 just negative 10x, and then negative 2 times x to the power 0. We know that any number to the power 0, any number or letter to the power 0 is equals to 1. So in this case we have a 1 there. So it will be just negative 2, like that. So that is your answer. Understood?
Oh, sorry to take you back. Can you just repeat where on dy over dx? Yeah, starting from here, dy over dx.
So we have this question, right? We started using this formula. If you know this formula, a, which is what? The coefficient. So in this case, the coefficient, it is what? 1 over 3, right? Now 1 over 3 will multiply with n. What is n? N is the power, which is what? A 3. So we have written a 3 there. Multiplied by x, which is the what? The variable. And then it is the rule that a power must be reduced by what? By 1. That's why we say 3 minus a 1. So what we did here, it is the same thing that we did on this part, also on that part. And then we say 1 over 3 multiplied by a 3, which is what? A 1. And then 1 multiplied by x squared is just x squared. And then negative 5 multiplied by 2, it is what? A 10. A negative 10. So we write a negative 10. And then negative 10 multiplied by x to the power 1 is just x, like that. And then in negative 2 multiplied by what? X to the power 0. Any number or letter to the power 0, it's what? A 0, right? So it will be x to the power 0, which is a 1. So 1 multiplied by negative 2, it is just negative 2, like that. So that is our answer. So I hope we have understood. I've taken you step by step. So if you just forgot any point, please, I advise you to do it, to watch the video again. So see you next time.